on. Give me 1 second. Why are we upside down? Oh no, it's cool. We are on the right way. Anyway, hi, oops. Good evening everyone and welcome to another episode of Melissa's Tabletop Talk. I've got here a special guest, Vinnie from Nanos Arte. She is going to talk to us a little bit about what it means to detox ourselves from digital. And as you can see from our title, the title is, do you believe that you or your child are digital slaves? So tell us, Vinnie, what exactly do you mean by digital slaves?
Hi. Actually, technology is the best thing happened to us.
Yes, we are live streaming now.
Yeah,
thanks to technology.
Right, exactly. And we need to teach ourselves how to be master of that and using digital as a tool rather than just consuming it, just gluing your eyes to digital and just becoming a consumer. So I think people who just use digital to consume, I call them, they're addicted. And there are more digital slave, yeah.
So for example, like we see everybody in the train, they're doing this.
Yeah.
When you're at the table, they're eating, they're doing this.
Yeah.
So that is called slaves.
Exactly. So every morning you get up, the first thing you do instead of kissing your partner, you're just extending your hand to take the mobile phone to check
I don't have a partner to wake up to, but I'm guilty of that for sure. First thing I do, grab my phone, check, read emails, start clearing stuff. Yeah, I'm just like in bed for 1 hour, just clearing emails, clearing messages, reading stuff. Would you call me a digital slave then?
I will say a little bit, definitely. We all are into that. I mean, not to offend you, but definitely it's just in every 5 minutes, or we get this temptation, let me check what's happening on Facebook, and let me check all these things. It just takes away us from sometime from our silence and more, a bit more creative that what we should be doing rather than just spending hours and hours.
I see. So what you would say is that instead of just being consumers, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about Nanos Arte and how did you come about with the company, considering that your background is in 3D animation, right? And you worked for an animation company, right?
So actually, you're aware of Dora The Explorer.
Yeah.
So I would say that Dora The Explorer lead me into this.
How did Dora the Explorer lead you to creating a company where you create stuff out of children's artwork?
Yeah. So once what happened is when I was working on the show, it was Smallville Superman show, and
she worked on Smallville, people. You heard that? Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Right. So I was like everywhere where my friends, my family members, and also my colleagues, they were like talking about their kids going after Dora's dress. They're wearing like from shoes to the school bag.
Really?
Everything Dora. And even I noticed very close friend's daughter, she was talking like her, and she was wearing the haircut like her. And then my co-worker shared with me the story that they went to a mall and his son, 6-year-old son, wanted to buy Dora's undie. Yeah, and the father tried to explain, no, it's not for you because it's for girls and and the size is not good for you. But he was so obsessed, and I felt a bit of a guilty because when we are creating this, we want kids to inspire rather than just getting into the character and losing their own identity. So that's inspired me to get on, and I started Nanos Arte with bonding merchandises.
Bonding merchandises. So I just to let our viewers understand a little bit by what you mean, because I can understand how children, they watch something on TV all the time, they want to emulate them, or they are fans, right? So why do you think that it is a bit too much that they want to wear everything top to toe, Dora Explorer or Ben 10 or Frozen, or what do you see as an issue with that?
Right. So bonding merchandises means like when the movie merchandises, they are hooked with character, they are born with the character.
Oh, okay.
So, and they live their life according to the whole story, because when they're children, there are lots of things go into their subconscious mind, and they're actually putting a good foundation for life. So with bonding merchandises, what we do is we create products from children's own art, which tells a lot of stories, and bond them to their family members, fathers, grandparents, and they enjoy their own art.
I see. So you take their artwork and then you create, I saw on your Facebook you created like a toy car, like a beanbag car. What other products do you create out of children's artwork?
So we actually transformed a children's artwork into an actual beanbag, and then we create mugs, t-shirts, simple articles, so that they can easily use it every day, and they have, first of all, whenever they see their loved ones using it, they get really confident. They feel very enthusiastic to create more. And it's a very good tool to actually shift children's minds. So if they like Dora or if they like Elsa, Anna, ask them to draw first and then get it.
Oh, I see. So what you were saying is that there's nothing wrong with idolizing these characters, but more of not just be a consumer, but also be the creator.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like fan art and things like that.
True. So it's like when they create these characters, there is a two-way conversation happening, because they are drawing this character, not just gluing on that. And once they create the mind shift, they forget about this character, like a movie character, and reinforcement the movie is bringing. They actually talk about, I drew this, I did this.
Okay. So it becomes their own positive reinforcement.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting. So what then for, say, I've told you this before, like my friends have told me that, the iPhone and the iPad are the greatest things to shut their kids up when it gets a bit too crazy, and just put on their favorite show and then they'll sit there quietly. I know there is their side of the story, but you were telling me that there comes to a point where some parents use it as a nanny, right? So where is that fine line, and where should parents be then worried that they're giving too much digital devices to their children?
Right. So according to my research I have noticed that from 2 years, even 6 months old till 5 years, the parents are very happy using digital as their nanny. Okay. So, but we need to use digital. I will not say that don't use it sometime, but if you use it in an active and passive way, so meaning like if you want your child to be a passive when they're using a mobile or a tablet to be active, so you can reverse these roles. So you can give your the iPhone to record something, create a story that, go around and just record this whole house and tell a story, just talk to that. Then you're using it with some purpose.
Reminds me of the time where I have a GoPro, and during the reunion dinner, my nieces and nephews just grabbed it because it's like this tiny, GoPros. Right. And then I'm like, okay, go knock yourself out, go run around the whole place and just do your own filming. Right. And then I did the Blair Kids project after that, which they were thrilled about, and their parents started watching it. So this is something that you're saying, that instead of just giving them something to just sit down, and maybe they can be more proactive, right?
Exactly.
And use their creativity.
And also just taking a helping hand with your family members, it's great, because you will not give your child to, if it's crying and will not give any drugs to sleep them, right? Yeah. So the digital
hang on, sorry. Every time I hear a crying baby, I'm like, grab water or brandy. So
yeah, you will not give any alcohol to your kid, right? So digital use for adults or for child, it's actually a forceful way of shutting yourself or shutting your child from senses and emotions.
Okay, that sounds really serious. But what happens if it's the reverse? it's the adults, the parents who are then digital slaves.
Yeah.
So how then, what are the signs that parents themselves should look out for, that they are not spending enough quality time, or they think that no, I'm not using it all the time, it's just that my kid is just troublesome or trying to get attention. So again, what's the signs that parents should look out for?
So first of all, actually the big step is that acknowledging that we are getting into an addiction. So as I said before, that if in the morning first thing you wanted to grab your phone, or even at work, you're working and you have this temptation to take out a phone from your bag and then check, So
That's me.
and that means, and then sometime if your child is there and crying or maybe want to speak to you, your mind's still on that, okay, you're doing a multitasking, you can't put that off. These are the big signs of that. And in terms of physical, if you're getting headaches, you're getting difficult sleeps, these are also the signs that you should.
But that's pretty, extreme in a way, right?
Yeah.
And it also, if you are aware of these signs, I would think that you are already a very mindful person. But how then, is there a way for people who are not mindful to then, as you were talking about, digital detox, is that the best way to go forward then?
Right. So, because I'm coming from a filmmaking process, and this whole filmmaking is actually based on storytelling. So, using those texts, the stories, like in back old days, what our parents used to do when they never had any digital or that, they used to tell stories, they used to take us out and talk a lot more about stories, and this is the best way to connect. So, to actually do a digital detox is nothing big, but sitting down and chatting with your family. Mindfulness will come automatically. When you create or story or any other thing, connection will happen.
Okay, so explain a little bit what exactly, if say parents admit that I'm a digital slave or my children are digital slaves, and let's do a digital detox. How can parents do that at home in a way where it's family bonding, it's not crazy, they don't have to deal with two screaming kids, and after 4 hours they say, nope, here I'm going to shove you the iPad or the phone.
Right.
Yeah.
So definitely lots of parents having lots of challenge because they're busy and all that.
Yeah.
But first of all, as I said, the first step is to acknowledge that this is the problem we need to fix. Then I call this a family time box. And so ask your kids and yourself and your whole family, sit down and create a one box, which will call family time box, and you come home, you drop your phone, and your kids drop their iPad in that for an hour. So we'll start.
So we're talking about physical box.
Physical box, yeah.
Okay.
And that will teach not only us to discipline, but also will teach children that how to actually control our, temptation to use iPad. And this is the best time. And slowly you will realize that for children, it's actually best thing to have time with the parents.
Okay, interesting. So just for one, you can first set 1 hour, then you extend the time, and then, so in between those time, then parents can find useful activities.
Exactly. So you're useful. So I always say that have something common, like maybe have a family dinner time. Just make a ritual that have a dinner together, or eat something or drink something. Because what I believe is that when you're eating or doing something, all your senses are very active. And when your senses are active, it's super easy to actually relax yourself and someone, even your kids, and have a very open conversation. Because your taste buds are great that time, you're smelling a nice food, and then you have a touch of your family members. So lots of, when all emotions are active, it's super easy to actually, have very healthy conversation.
But okay, then how do you kickstart the conversations? Because there are some families who are not so expressive, they are probably a little bit quieter. Say that's why they take out their phones during dinner while waiting for the food to come. They're just playing games because they don't know how to start a conversation. So for these personality types, what advice do you have for the parents?
So first of all, I would like to say that never ever ask in your family time, how was your day? That question is wrong.
How was your day, Vinnie?
I mean, it's to kids or anybody. And if you, like, I'll share my story, what my dad used to do, which I never understood before when I was a kid. So every day at 6 o'clock, he'll come home. My mom used to work. She'll come home and we cook, she make a tea. And then he picks up a newspaper and it has one speaking tree article every day and it has a moral message. He reads aloud. And so everybody thinks dad reading his newspaper, but then he just puts it off and he shares his whole story, what happened at work. He shares his own story and he married that morals somehow in the story in a very comic way. And we start laughing. We never realized until I grew up and I think, oh, wait a minute, my dad was using some kind of trick to teach me something. So it's a very good way to, even though you wanted to know what how was your day from your children, it's better to start talking about your day in a funny and cartoon way. They will love it.
Your dad is a very smart man. Yeah. And I completely understand because it happens in my family as well. It's very common. You go like, oh, how's your day? How was work? And you just get monosyllabic answers like, oh, it was okay, or okay, bad, good. You know?
Because sometimes at work we get embarrassing moments, we get stressed. We don't want to recall all this at the end of the day. So it's great to actually have some positive things and you start with your own and then, you know, just involve kids. And then when kids start talking about something, you know, or maybe you can make up a story. Oh, you know what? The Superman, you know that your kid loves one of the character.
Yeah.
Just somehow involve that character into your story and you'll be right there.
Interesting. So is this something that, not just for parents, but say teachers, is that something that they can use as well?
Yeah, totally. Because nowadays schools are actually on reusing digital tablets and everything, so more time. And it's a great way to incorporate storytelling and film cartoons into the subjects, you know. Kids, most of the kids have very common, okay, Piggy or, you know, any kind of Elsa, Anna, all these kind of characters, they love it. Just, you know, use those characters and make a story out of it, your own story though.
Okay, interesting. I'm not a parent, but I've got nieces, nephews, and my good friend has young children as well. So I can completely understand that it's very, very difficult to be a parent. It's also, there is this, you know, frustration as to, I don't want to use digital devices to shut them up, but it's just so much simpler and easier. And I'm just going to ask on behalf of some of them, because they will say that I spend a lot of time bonding with my kids. I tell them stories every night. I play with them when I come home or when they come home from school. We don't use the phones during dinner time. You know, they are very conscious about that. But what happens if, especially for the older kids, right? They spend that 1 hour, they've done that so-called detox, but then after that they say, I want to watch this show, and I want an iPad. So how then, you know, do parents make sure that it's a healthy amount? What determines a healthy amount anyway, right? So please help.
So a healthy amount is actually at least 2 hours a day is good enough. But then again, in 2 hours, so say if your kids are already very much addicted, but you somehow manage them forcefully or whatever the way to detox for an hour, then it's a very good thing that you sit down with them. Instead of doing a detox, I would not suggest a detox right away for them. What they should do is sit down and watch the character, watch the show. And
with their kids?
With the kids, yes, and with the kids, and try watching it on YouTube or something where it's just one episode, not like continuously going on something or other, like in TV or something. Then just have a conversation. Oh, why not just, you know, whatever happening in the cartoon show, just have a conversation. What will happen then? It will break they're just blue-eyed, and their mind will start working. So there will be a more two-way connection,
I can
not a
imagine
one-way
them going,
connection.
shh, mom, shh, shh, shh.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
shh.
But if you have a positive conversation, a right conversation which your kids will learn, oh wow, he did such a nice, good high five.
Okay.
Like this. So you become of her or his age and just enjoy the show. And you're having a good bonding together. And then once the show is over, if it's still there, you're like, how about we draw Elsa? After watching this show, or how about we draw Dora? And then when you're drawing it, then encourage kid to change the color of the dress other than the Dora character. What will happen? That's a little bit shift will create a big effect in the mind.
I know you're very big on drawing and painting, but what about for people or children who don't really like doing that?
Right.
So what else can parents do to encourage such creativity?
Yeah, so it's totally fine that if kids don't like art or anything, it's like everybody has different way.
Correct.
So if they ask them to act as a Dora, or ask them to act as a character, and then whole family make a series of themselves every week. And so you plan a week. Okay, this weekend we are going to shoot our own cartoon called Dora the Explorer, or name it differently. And then slowly first start shooting the same storyline, maybe if your kids love it, and then slowly move it to another storyline. And ask your kid to do a storyboards, and okay, what will be the story? Have a conversation with them.
Interesting. So then it's really the whole family getting active together, planning something, and I can see this going out on a weekend where they have something to look forward to, and then during the weekday they start planning what to do for the weekend.
Exactly.
Oh,
and sitting on a dining table, and you're having this cutlery there, and you just ask them, okay, my spoon name is Mr. T, and my fork name is Mr. Frog. And and make a story, and then you have a conversation right there.
Ah, that is very interesting. I'm learning tips on how to be a parent even before I'm a parent. Brilliant. Thank you, Vinnie. So what else can parents take note of so that you were telling me that parents need to be wary right from the start. Right. So again, what are the steps for the new parents?
So for the new parents, I would say even your child is coming to this world, try to detox yourself and not get into this digital detox at all. Don't take easy steps like mobile or iPad is the easy things to use, and if you take out that option totally 100%, you will realize there are so many ways to actually get help engage them. Yeah, and so just be careful, because you will find it very easy when they are still 6-year-old. After that, it's going to be difficult. They will have lots of anger, temperament issues. They have lots of behavior issues, and then it will be very difficult to fix.
How about, I've told you this before, one of my friends, her son is hyperactive, and he has always been hyperactive for the longest time, even before the iPad came about.
Right.
But my friend was telling me that the iPad was like the best invention, because he literally would be running around, but when you shove the iPad in front of him, he just sits down quietly for about at least half an hour. Again, his attention span is really short. So, but at least he sits down for half an hour before he gets up and run again. So, do you think then that's an acceptable use again?
No, in fact, in this case, I will recommend never ever give.
Never.
Yes. But the reason is that, anything, if the attention span is bad, then the problem is that the senses are very active, and you are suppressing forcefully through a media. So what happens is for example, if you are walking and there's a rain going on, you're collecting the droplets, you're watching it, your all senses are getting involved and you get relaxed. But now you watch the same video, then nothing will happen because your imagination is not working. You're only glued to it. Next time when you'll feel more tired. So when your child is actually running around and active, that means he has tons of energy, he's not able to use it. So we need to put him into some kind of an activity, especially physical activity, where he gets tired and he loves it, enjoy it, and do that.
I think she has tried, but I think for some children especially, they are very hyper, but no matter what, as a family, not everybody's that hyper, or that has that high energy levels.
Right.
But I think it's bad to a certain extent for her, because when they go out to the restaurant, he can't be running around in the restaurant. It's dangerous for him, plus the wait staff, plus everybody else around him, right? So to her, it's like, there's no way else that I can get him to sit still for even a meal, unless he's got an iPad.
Okay. Yeah, because he knows this is an option for him, and having an iPad. That's another way of, sometimes kids do certain things because they want iPad. So they know that if I behave in certain way, I will get an iPad. But if that's not an option, he will calm down in some other way. And if nothing is working, then I would suggest that, taking some help from a mindfulness teacher, or getting him into a very kid-specific meditation, or getting him into a music. Get a music class. Maybe he will really, where his senses and his anxiety get calmed down. So this is very much a concern, and she should definitely talk to parenting consultant, counselors. They will give a very good lead, because iPad is not a solution.
Yeah, but the sad thing is that, I think when you send your child to such psychologists, what happens is that they start cookie cutting and then say that, I've heard that she was a bit angry that her son some people say that her son has ADHD, and hyperactivity, all the medical conditions.
Right.
Whereas to her, she doesn't, she's smart enough, she did her own little tests and observations. She doesn't think it's that big an issue. It's only really when sometimes then he goes out of control to a certain extent. Yeah.
So I would suggest that definitely mom knows way more better than that. But if you're getting this repeatedly, you have shown to a good parenting consultant after recommendation, and you're still getting this, is you need to go more deeper into it. Sometimes as a parent, because we are not specialists in something, we don't know. And child, if you fix any problem at this age, it's great. But if it continues, it can lead to a bigger problem. So accepting that this could be, maybe 1% chance could be there, and finding a solution will be good. And otherwise, if you really don't want to go there, try, the whole family can work together to get into a meditation practice. And then I know it's going to be a difficult, but then if whole family gets into that, or maybe just every day have a soothing music or meditative music at home, in the morning, in the afternoon, do a baby step, and then you'll see. Ask him if he's good in art, ask him every day do art journals. Don't guide him at all, let him go in a free flow way.
I see. So there's a lot to take, and I'm sure there's a lot of opinions, because we both agree that every family is different, every child is different, every parent is different. So where can parents, or aunties, uncles, family members look for information more on digital detox, or whether digital slave, or how to then bond with children? I think a lot of parents, maybe they are not digital slaves, their children are not digital slaves, but naturally people want to bond with their children a lot more meaningfully. So where can they look for all this information or activities?
So they can actually come to, I write blogs, come to my website nanosarte.com. Currently it is with the bonding merchandises from Children's Own Art, but we are in the process of revamping it and to a digital detox program. And currently I am launching a family digital detox program, 3-hour program called Be the Canvas. So it's in a Victorian style. So mom is going to be a canvas, and dad and children will decorate her, while there is a santur, is a musical instrument, live musical instrument will be going on.
So you're marrying art with music, and just allowing the family to play with each other.
Yeah, and we're more mindful and happy family bonding moment.
We keep using the word mindful, so I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who don't understand what mindful means. So can you give our viewers just a short...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mindful is just very simple. Just be present. What your children are saying, receiving it 100%. That is mindful.
Okay. This is about for not just children but yourself as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, being conscious about what is happening at that point in time. That's what it means,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Be on the moment is the main important.
Yeah. And for those who have been following Melissa's Tabletop Talk, you will know that now I've actually switched over to Wellness Insider. And so Wellness Insider, we will definitely have Vinnie on board, right?
Yes, definitely.
And we will talk a little bit more about digital detox. We'll talk about how to bond with family members. And I also think this is very important where, for me, I tutor children and I find that I need to bond with children too. Or if you are an aunt or an uncle, you definitely want to bond with your nieces, nephews in a more meaningful way. So thank you so much for coming down today, Vinnie, and for sharing about digital detox. We will definitely have more information once your program is on the 15th of November.
October.
October. Oh, it's just next month.
Just next
October.
month. Yeah.
Okay, very, very soon.
Yes.
And we will, if you want your wife or you yourself to be the canvas for your children and your husband while listening to live music, go to nanosarte.com. That is ARTE. Did I get it right?
The program is not there yet because I will share the link with you.
Sure.
Later you can post.
Yeah, later she will post it up on the comment section.
Right.
Yeah. So very interesting program for the whole family. I think it's a lot more meaningful than just going to the shopping center. If you have no idea what to do over the 15th of October weekend, this is something to put on your calendar. So thank you so much again for coming down this week. And I'll see you guys soon on next week's Tabletop Talk again on Tuesday, 8:30. Let's see who I have up next week. Bye.
Bye.
And I can't cancel this. Finish.